Welcome to Austin American booth here at IPC Apex. I'm joined by Sterling Hornbrickle. Nice to see you again, Sterling.
Yeah.
And we've got a fairly unique new machine behind us. It is the Aqua ROS.
Yep.
We're going to come to the ROS bit in a minute because
Yeah.
we'll you need to keep watching this video so that you're going to see the key new thing in this machine. But it's got a few other really cool new features to it. Some of which we'll go through just now, including the front access, the different spray patterns and systems. So take it away, Sterling. Give us a guide of the machine.
Yeah, so one of the great things is the Aquatherm, which is basically from here down, we've been selling since 2008. So there's a lot of history and use in the industry with this machine. So what we did on the new Aqua ROS is we basically took the Aquatherm and I'd say put it on steroids. So we added a lot of great new capabilities, one we're really excited about, and some new features that were additionally options that we've now included into the machine. So the cleaning is still done through our high energy, high impingement spray wands. We have a spray wand on top, one in the middle that sprays up and sprays down, and one on the bottom that sprays up.
Okay.
So the key to cleaning is there's 4 factors in cleaning, Trevor. We've got time, temperature, concentration when you're using chemistry, and energy. The most important one to get underneath components is
Energy.
You got it. You got it. And the other key thing is to have a short distance from your spray to the actual product that you're trying to clean. So that way when we have the middle one and we're spraying up and we're spraying down, we're very close to those sprays, so the energy is still intact when it hits those board surfaces to get underneath.
Right.
And that comes standard, so we've got one in the top, one in the middle that sprays up, sprays down, and then one in the bottom that sprays up. So we've got really good action, really good coverage with our coherent, high energy spray wands. We also, in the new Aqua ROS, are drying through those spray wands. So when it gets, the process gets to drying, we've put a blower in the machine, and it actually is blowing air, and we're heating that air through those spray wands. And with the testing that we've done, it's 25 to 30% faster drying than we were before. We've also increased the temperature that we dry at. Right. So we can now dry at actually higher temperatures. So we've reduced the cycle time.
Yeah. So what's that reduced the cycle time to?
And drying alone, 25 to 30%. So there are variables, how many boards do I have in there and such, which take longer, but definitely faster.
Excellent. Okay. So that's the mechanics inside at the moment, but on the outside of the machine at the front, you have access to all of the filtration and pumps and things like that very easily. So tell us about this.
So what we've done is we have actually, in the old Aquatherm, we had one tank below to hold your chemistry, and you had rinse water that would come in and go to drain, or you'd have a separate rinse recycler and have to have an AquaSave or another device to close loop the rinse. We've taken that and put it inside the machine. So now we have closed loop wash, closed loop rinse, 0 discharge to drain, all in this unit. And we can have small tanks inside the machine for your carbon and your DI, or you can actually put larger tanks outside next to the machine for longer usage for your carbon and your DI. And again, everything compact, 0 discharge to drain, a lot more process control here as well.
Yeah, and you're going to do a little demonstration for us, but one of the beautiful things about this system is it actually comes with a ROS tester.
Yes. So what I'm going to do we'll run a quick ROS test calibration. Since I don't have any boards with flux or chemical or in here, I've got a salt solution that we'll actually inject when we go to do the ROS test.
Okay.
So we'll actually start a process, and if we have boards that we would actually go, and here's our main screen. If I hit start, I can add the number of boards, because when you do the ROS test, you want to calculate the surface area that you're testing. So the nice thing here is, in the old days, you'd take one board out of a lot, go to an omega-meter or an ionograph and test it. Yep. Now we can test 100% of the boards, say they're all clean, not just one, and we do that by simply adding boards. So I can say I've got one of these. You have to enter this data once, but once it's in there, you can add as many as you want. I'll add 2 of these, and we got a bunch of Apple boards.
So basically, you preset these recipes first, and then you can call them up as and when you need them.
Or even barcode. So if I had a barcoder set up, I got boom, 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 barcode them, stick them in, and then we go. So right now I'll go ahead and we'll run the calibration test, and we'll go ahead and start. So right now, just a side note on what we're seeing on the screen is this is an overall process time. I've turned off the chemical wash. I can do a water-only wash, so it can do chemical or water. It's going to do rinses to resistivity, and my setting's 5, and we actually already have clean water going in. We're already at 1, so it will run 1 rinse to resistivity, and then we'll start the ROS test. And then I've turned off dry for this test because we're just going to actually inject some salt solution in there. Okay. So once it gets to ROS test, we'll watch the chart. I'll start the ROS test, we'll inject the salt, and then we'll watch the chart.
Okay, let's see what happens.
Yeah, so what has happened is we've just finished our resistivity rinses, and we hit the resistivity. Once it does the resistivity rinse, it's going to actually take a reading, and then it's going to start washing. So now we're doing the ROS test. We're going to get an initial reading. Now we'll watch the chart. Now I'm going to inject our salt solution, and let's see what happens to the chart. So here goes our injection. And our conductivity sensor. Whoa! It jumped off. I put a lot of salt in there. But hopefully your boards wouldn't have that much in there. But for our calibration test, it's actually leveled off now because it's actually picked up the sodium chloride that we put into there, and it's going to chart that. And at the end of that test, it's going to actually give us the sodium chloride equivalent per centimeter squared of the boards that we put in there, and it's going to data log that, and you're going to have that available for plug in a USB port, basically for as long as you want to keep that data for every board, every batch, every day.
Wonderful, wonderful. So basically you can plug in a USB data, then load it onto your computer, give it to your customer, and prove that every batch has been ROS tested that he's done. So that's an incredible
it's a
addition.
Great process control too. Yeah. So even if you're running no clean fluxes that you're cleaning, that don't necessarily dissolve in the solution, it will still give you process control, because you also want to read, did you remove all the chemistry? Because you're going to absolutely clean and no clean with chemistry. You want to make sure that all that chemistry is removed as well. So you're also getting that test on top of it. So you can actually use it on a no clean flux for other process control.
So, I mean, I don't want to get into pricing in that, but I mean, the obvious question is going to be, this must be a lot more expensive because it's adding all this extra functionality, and you would normally have to go and buy an external ROS tester. How much does this new system cost? So don't give me the actual price, but just give us an indication.
Yeah, so Trevor, that's a great question, because normally you would have to have, you'd buy an omega meter, an ionograph, and those could cost anywhere from $20,000 to $30,000. Batch cleaners could be anywhere from $40,000 to $50,000, and then you add a rinse recycler to it. That's another $10,000 to $15,000. Well, why not take all those, put the omega meter ionograph test in here, take the rinse recycler, put it in here, and put the whole package together in a small footprint for about 20% less than all those things combined.
I want to thank you very much for giving us a walkthrough on the Aqua ROS, and wish you every success with it for the future.
Well, thank you very much. We're really excited about this product, and hope you find some great capabilities and usage for this in the future.